Donald Trump hasn't even been in office for an entire week yet, but he is doing irreparable damage to my country and your country. Donald Trump was supposed to be the candidate that was going to make America great again, make America healthy again. This was supposed to be the golden era of the United States of America. But Donald Trump is coming nowhere near realizing those aspirations because he has a childlike understanding of the rest of the world, our place in it, and because he thinks that the rest of the world is taking advantage of us because he lives in his own conspiracy world, he is doing stupid things like withdrawing us from the World Health Organization. We are a founding member of the World Health Organization, the organization that keeps us safe, that keeps us a bit more healthy, make sure that we have resources to deploy across the globe to make sure that new diseases or new variants to diseases don't make it to America. Donald Trump is just getting rid of all of that. Here he is signing the executive order, withdrawing us from the very organization that we helped create.
The U.S. is the biggest financial backer of the WHO, contributing about 18% of the agency's budget. Trump's decision puts numerous programs at risk, including efforts to tackle tuberculosis and HIV/AIDS. On Monday evening, Trump signed an executive order declaring the U.S. would leave the Global Health Agency.
So we paid $500 million to World Health when I was here, and I terminated it. China, with 1.4 billion people, we have 350 to pay. We have, nobody knows what we have because so many people came in illegally, but let's say we have 325. They had 1.4 billion. They were paying 39 million, we were paying 500 million. It seemed a little unfair to me.
This man is an idiot. Does he not also understand that this was an organization that we helped create? This is an organization that we currently are the top funder of and are the current beneficiaries of their work. Donald Trump is such a petulant man who lives in his own world where everybody else is taking advantage of him. So he's just going to do stupid shit like withdrawing us from an organization that keeps America a little bit more safe. And then he makes up all of these conspiracies about how China has undue influence over the WHO when he has no clue what he is actually talking about. And now he is putting American lives at risk because he has a childlike understanding of these organizations and how they work and how America contributes to them. And more importantly, how America benefits from them. Just one of the benefits that we currently enjoy, that we are currently taking advantage of, or were taking advantage of, was the World Health Organization has assets that it can deploy all around the globe to make sure that new diseases or new variants to new diseases don't make it to America. We call this rapid response. This keeps America a little more safe. But Donald Trump has no understanding of this whatsoever.
Well, we rely on the WHO for so many things that we never even realize as a population. First of all, and most immediate, is that WHO has a global response capacity. And so wherever there's a hot spot in the world, whether it's polio in Gaza or Ebola in West Africa or Mpox in the Democratic Republic of Congo, you name it, the WHO is there early, and they put out fires before they come to America. And remember, we're not immune. You can't close the border to a pathogen the way that the president appears to think that he can close it to immigration. Germs don't know any boundaries.
That was Lawrence Gostin, a professor at Georgetown University, somebody who works with the WHO. I believe he is a global health law professor. So he has a pretty good understanding of how this organization works, America's place in the organization, and he is rightly pointing out here that America benefits greatly from our membership in this organization that we helped fund, that we helped find. But Donald Trump is just getting rid of all of this. America has spent decades building relationships all across the globe, alliances, treaties, diplomatic relationships, to establish ourselves as a global leader. We try to do the right thing. We don't always get it right, but we try to do the right thing. And our investments in these types of programs, in these types of organizations, have reaped so many benefits to the American people. And Donald Trump just has zero understanding of any of it. Not only are we going to miss out on that global rapid response, but the WHO is responsible for aggregating a ton of data that we use to build new vaccines, to make new treatments for different diseases. How can you tell me that this is a good decision? America will be less healthy. They will be less prepared for pandemics. Somebody make it make sense. Here Lawrence is again talking about how important it is to have access to that scientific data.
The other thing I want to mention is I think is even more important is that WHO has a vast network of laboratories, scientists, and public health agencies that report on data. And our pharmaceutical companies, our public health agencies like CDC and NIH rely on that data to develop the vaccines and treatments that we need when the next health emergency hits. Americans are used to being at the front of the line when it comes to vaccines and treatments, with Africa and others at the back. We might find ourselves near the back of the line next time because we're not going to have access to those vital pieces of information like pathogen samples or genomic sequencing data or the emergence of mutations and dangerous variants. And so we can't update our vaccines, we can't create new vaccines, and it will even affect our seasonal influenza vaccines because every year we use WHO data to update our influenza vaccines.
Just imagine how insane that is. We are just withdrawing ourselves from an organization that provides us the data to keep America a little bit more safe, a little bit more healthy, a little bit more prepared. And because Donald Trump has a childlike understanding of how any of this stuff works, and because he is living in his own conspiracy bubble that believes that we're just getting taken advantage of, he is just retreating from our spot on the world stage. Make it make sense. Donald Trump was supposed to make America great and strong again. This is not the actions you would take if you were trying to make America stronger. And because there is such an anti-intellectual bent within the MAGA movement, this stuff probably isn't even going to faze them. They are probably going to celebrate this without truly understanding the benefits of something like the WHO. Because they are also living in a conspiracy bubble that thinks that the WHO is trying to take over the sovereignty of America. That is why information systems are so important. This is why it's so important that we have to push back against all these conspiracies and put forward a more compelling vision of the United States of America. I mean, I used to live in an America that we could be proud of. Technological breakthroughs, scientific innovation. That is something that America used to be a leader of, right? And now we're just going to give that all up because Donald Trump has a childlike understanding of these types of things? I mean, I am at a loss for words. We are taking so many steps back after America has put so much investment into our spot on the world stage. And if you think this isn't going to make us weaker geopolitically, I don't know what to tell you, because that's exactly what it is going to do. If we're going to cede all this ground, people like China and Russia are probably celebrating right now because this makes us weaker.
And now we're walking away. And the irony is that what we're doing is we're allowing the global rules of the road without defending our national interests, our national values. And we cede leadership to our adversaries. I think one of the ironies of this whole thing is that President Trump has said that China has undue influence on WHO. Well, I've worked with WHO for nearly 40 years, and the U.S. has far more influence than China ever has. But that could change as we pull out of WHO and the pandemic agreement.
And he is exactly right about that. We are ceding territory, or not territory, but influence to our enemies. You know, the COVID-19 vaccine should have been something that Americans could rally around, to be proud of. How cool it was that we were able to develop a novel vaccine with brand new technology to fight an ongoing pandemic. And Donald Trump should get a little bit of credit for that, for Project Warp Speed, where he was able to cut some regulatory tape and we developed a vaccine in record time. America should be proud of that. But because we have this anti-intellectualism, like half of the country doesn't even believe in vaccines anymore, which is wild to me, especially if you look at the COVID-19 data, where Republicans were dying at twice the rate because they have been led to believe that the vaccine was going to poison them or something. Just imagine the upside-down world we are living in right now. America used to take pride in our leadership, in our sciences, in our problem solving. But Donald Trump is just doing away with all of it because he doesn't understand these organizations. He doesn't understand these different treaties and alliances. Donald Trump only cares about Donald Trump. And if a deal looks like weighted weirdly, he doesn't take the time to understand the nuances of what that actually means. Maybe we contribute more to the WHO because we are a founding member and we reap some of the greatest rewards from those programs. It's not like China was able to take advantage of all of the work we did at the WHO when COVID was around. Do you remember the Chinese and the Russian vaccines? They were a joke compared to what we came up with here in the States. And that's something that America should have been able to rally around and be proud of. But because we have the likes of Donald Trump, who is the sitting president of the United States, all bets are off. So this is something I'm going to be paying a very close attention to. I think this is a big, big deal. Donald Trump is weakening America geopolitically. He's going to make America less safe. He's going to put American lives at risk because he has an anti-intellectual. He has contempt for experts in any of the sciences for whatever reason, and it is going to hurt Americans. So we're going to keep an eye on it here. I will bring you any new information, and we will play it day by day, I guess. Just keep you and your family safe. It's going to be a dark 4 years, guys. It's going to be dark 4 years. Let's buckle up. We can get through it together and make America a place to be proud of again. Let's work on that. I'll leave it there. If you guys got anything out of this video, please do remember to smash that like button and subscribe. Maybe share it with a friend or two. I'd very much appreciate that. We have to build something that can push back against that anti-intellectualism that we see coming from the right-wing media ecosystem. So if you appreciate the work I do here, please do remember to subscribe. If you want to see some more lunacy with Donald Trump pardoning violent January 6th rioters, go ahead and watch that video on the screen now. Otherwise, I'll see you guys on the next one.